I have a violin my grandmother and her parents bought from Udine, Italy. It was Stradivarius on the back, so everyone around is afraid to touch it to refurbish it. Is this something you could do? Since we reached 20,000 subscribers, today I answer a few questions. Hello, back again. This is Edgar from Cremona, Italy. I am the creator of the online violin making academy in case you want to build your own instrument or you want to learn to sound adjust your instrument or just to varnish. This is something for you. Otherwise, search an instrument on my website and configure the right instrument. Let's see here. First questions from Gir. Hi Edgar, there's a particular order in which to change the strings of a violin? No, but just to make things easier, especially for the G string, I would take off the third string and then change the fourth string, just to reach it easier, and then you don't need necessarily the tweezers to pull through the strings. Okay? Ed Kalbovic, I'm impressed about the names of the people. Can you make a video about the wood grain? Especially referring to the width and irregularities in the grain. I've heard a lot of conflicting info regarding this. Good subject. We have to sign that. We will do that. Caston, why? I wonder what the late Ferdinando Garimberti would have to say about this. Violins are still tricked by an old myth. Christian, give me that viola, because this one here is a viola, and we just had to this morning some restorator who is specialized just on redoing the joint here, for instance, from this viola. And this viola, guess what it is? Ferdinando Garimberti, 1972. So I wonder also what Ferdinando would say about it. If there wouldn't have been the joint, it wouldn't have to remake the joint. Yeah, so probably he wasn't really good in doing the joints as well. Robert L6770, that's my trouble. I would have to do too much editing to be a distinguished violin maker. Lol. Yeah, some people think that I'm sitting here and doing the editing and everything. I'm glad I have Christian on the other side. I just have to sit here and do these things, and then I can focus on other things. And I would love to be able to do everything, but it's impossible, okay? Luis Andres Moncada. Are you know Gerald Crowson's fittings? I don't know. I will check that out. Thank you for this tip. T. Nungesa. Why put the casein calcium just on the inside of the violin? You say it is put on so the oil varnish doesn't penetrate the wood, but you only put the oil varnish on the outside of the violin, right? I started putting the preparation only on the outside, and then I discovered that the instruments had a better sound. And then I said, hey, since it is good for the sound, let's see what it does if I put it also on the inside. And another thing why I do it also on the inside is that I have seen several Stradivarius, late Stradivarius, and I was always impressed how this surface is so well finished. I connected the things, and I have the impression that these two things actually could have been made also in the inside from the great masters. I have a violin my grandmother and her parents bought from Udine, Italy. It was Stradivarius on the back, so everyone around is afraid to touch it to refurbish it. Is this something you could do? Of course, send me the pictures. Very likely it's a German factory-made instrument which has written on the back, even Stradivarius. They didn't try to scam or fool anybody by putting on that name. They just prefer to the model this instrument has been made in these factories in Germany. And sometimes on old music sheets they have at the very last page, and out of the 20s, 30s, they made these advertising of these instruments, and they even showed what model it is. So I'm sorry for you, but send me the pictures. It's always good to look at it. And in case it is a real Stradivarius, bingo, you never know, okay? I love Lena Yokoyama. She is the best in the world. Secret lover here. Okay, but I love her too, you know? She is very optimist, a nice way to face life. And you can listen to that by seeing how she plays the violin. Then we have here, nice question, J. Blair. Hello, Mr. Ross. I heard Napoleone play the cello from Stradivari. He even left marks in his varnish with his boot spurs. Edgar. That's how he's got his nickname, the Butcher. Yeah, that's the Stradivari Duport. He's actually famous for this, but was actually the cellist Duport who played the cello for Napoleone, and then how Napoleone smashed into the cello with his spurs, I don't know exactly. Tony Macon. What is the name of the album book I needed? Joost Thöne. He made the Stradivari book, and the Guarnieri book is from Peter Bidolf that has been printed, I think, 1,000 or 2,000 pieces and is not available anymore. Stephen Meyer, my uneducated position is, are the violins made by the masters of 300 years ago really better than the highest quality ones made today? Damn, you are so right, Stephen. This is the question, the entire career of my life. It's all about that, you know? And people always try to understand, how is it possible that an instrument made 300 years ago is still better? And actually, it's more a question of the mind of the musicians. If the musicians, even the violin makers, believe that this is the maximum and everything else which has been made, even if it's from the scientific point of view, is better, sounds better, but better is not better, but is already worse, it's strange. And your question is already the answer, right? Gary Batman. Did they have titanium end pins 300 years ago?
What do you think?
After that one, but that was nice actually. It's a nice question. CPMKY, the wood end pin was better. Thin, shrill and soulless is not better. Wood is an organic, once living thing. You should rededicate your professional pursuit to Jesus Christ, as did Guarnieri and masters like Johann Sebastian Bach. Soul is everything, God is everything. These things die as Europe dies, not progress or improvement. Well, this is like Pulp Fiction, you know, with a magnum. Just without now fooling you, living in nature is when something is growing, okay? And something is growing when it grows and becomes better. And that's the reason why, even in violin making, I think it is good that we do not think like this CPMKY. If you would have a name, it would be nicer. Religion is another thing which shouldn't be actually involved. That religion has something to do with the material of the endpin. What else should I say to this, huh? T. Nung Gesser, you are quite possibly one of the greatest luthiers. I really appreciate all of your helpful videos and hope your Christmas is truly blessed. This is a nice message. Thank you very much. It's nice to know that the information I give here for free, I'm happy that you appreciate the honesty of mine to share here knowledge for all of you. Where would you go to check an old violin that looks well made and has the potential to have an original label? I would first of all go to a violin maker I trust. You go there and then you see what he tells. And then if he's a serious man, during COVID, I had somebody who left me a cello, which turned out to be at the very end a cello which a value of 2 million. You know, if you want to send me some pictures, you can do it if you think that I'm with the right plan, or otherwise you find the right maker, right? Hello Edgar, I have huge interest in making violins. However, I do not know how to play one. We have something in common. You don't have to be able to play an instrument to build an instrument. This is two completely different things. After 40 years building instruments, of course I can play Of course, I can take the instrument and sound check. Who is not able after 40 years of handling instruments not to make a stroke and judge the instrument? So you can start making an instrument right away and you will grow into it. You just qualified to sign up to my Violin Making Academy and you can start right away to build your first instrument. Yeah. Thank you. I'm planning a trip to Cremona. Do you recommend any hotel around the area or a bed and breakfast? The hotels are the Astoria, Continental, and Da Design Hotel. Yeah? And if you need help, just let me know and write me an email and I can give you some advice. Yeah? Paul Searless, greetings Edgar, long-time subscriber. I can see that you're a long-time subscriber and that's very nice from you. You do it as everybody should do here. A wonderful presentation as usual. Can you direct me where I can study the physics of the violin bridge? I asked because I have a 5-string Romanian violin by Gliga, but the bridge cutouts are the same as for the 4-string violin. I don't have actually any specific direction I can tell you where you can study about the physics of the violin bridge. Just make it as traditional as normal, and believe me, if everything is done very nice, very properly set up and everything's lined up very well, 5 strings sound super great. Even I made the experience with one instrument, the cello, that was a 4-string cello, and we changed it to 5-string. The character and everything was just the same. It was just 1 string more. Thanks, Paul. You did what all the rest of the community has to do. Subscribe. Asiel, thank you for making this video and trying to illustrate this topic, Edgar, about the sound projection. I'm curious if you had the chance to compare projection and tone with a spectrum analyzer. Not me. I talked a lot with Andreas Langhoff and he had all these kind of years and years of spectrum analyzers. These kind of things, I'm not the right person. I have to admit that here I come to my limits. I'm more that I love to talk to these people and figure out what I can, from their information they give me, translate it into reality. And that's how I build my instruments. Yeah. I'm curious if you may be able to help identify a violin I recently purchased. Would that be possible? Of course. Send me the pictures. And then that's done. Hello, how are you, sir? Very fine today, and how are you? I am Talal. Me and my partner, we are antique dealers in USA. About a month ago, my partner bought a violin, and when I saw this beautiful violin, I found it carried a label Anno 1712, Carlo Bergonzi Fece in Cremona. Can you help us about this violin? Thank you so much. Send me the pictures and I will tell you. Who was Carlo Bergonzi? Was one of the employees from Antonio Stradivari and took over, after the death of Antonio Stradivari, the workshop of Stradivari. So 1712 is actually very interesting because at that time, at least so far as I can judge, I don't believe there were too many instruments with the label of Carlo Bergonzi, but it could be. Who knows? Hi, no difference. Technically wood would be better because it resonates and it gives more warmth and lively sound to the violin. This man has very clear ideas. Did you also listen to the earplugs? You waste of money. Don't buy the earplugs. You only hear crap here. Come on. It's a nice experience to upgrade this cheap violin, but I would just buy a 500-euro violin. I think it would be constructed better and it would be more suitable for a beginner. You are right, but what for you are 500, for another one are 5,000, and for another one is 50,000. Sometimes people come in here halfway of the corridor when they hear that I don't have an instrument for more than 100,000 euro. They're offended because we are wasting their time and they turn around and go out. Everybody's a little bit different. Huh? I didn't want to throw a 500 euro violin down the Po River Bridge. Sorry. Protein, and then a sign of an emoji with ham, and then force. Yeah, protein. Yeah, it's secret. lies in simplicity. If they can just make a titanium tailpiece that looks just like your beautiful boxwood tailpiece, yeah, that would be fancy. Yeah, that would be fancy. I always enjoy your nice videos and just wish I had the money to purchase one of your beautiful looking and beautiful sounding violins. I really would love that you all have that money to buy one of my instruments, especially if you don't buy it, but at least that you have the chance to test at least once in your life one of my violins. That would be already a mission for me, yeah, because as long as you haven't tried it, you don't know. If you come here and I have a violin ready to be played, come and then you can compare it to all the other ones. And even if you cannot afford it, I think it's a good experience to test it and to try it. Do finer grained timber shrink less than wider grains under the same conditions? Good questions. If the grain is wider, when the wood is shrinking, the major part which is shrinking is this white part and not the dark one. So the wider the grains are, the more they're actually exposed to shrink. Ostriga. This one is a long one. Where I live, it's always 75 to 100% humidity. Wow. So at home, I keep my violins in room with a dehumidifier, always working around 49 humidity. 49, I would say, is quite dry, but okay, I can understand that certainly you go from one extreme to another. It's common to use it like this. Now, first of all, if it's too humid, then certainly it makes moisture, and that's never good for the wood. It rottens over the years. This is not good. The main reason is this part of the neck, and if now there's a lot of humidity, this part is absorbing more humidity, and then it is like going up, while underneath where it is inserted, it has less ease to penetrate, so then the whole neck is going down. Oh, there are a lot of comments on this here. That's always interesting. When I go to the drier climate, I put a small orange in my case. When I get home, I eat the orange. It's laughing, but it works, and I think it's not a joke. Nice here one, Stan Johnson. Edgar, don't expect answer, but the more I learn, the less I know. Violins are my passion at age 80 years. I'm really dumb. No, you're not. I've always observed that ebony buttons was used in the neck lengthening process when the label was raised up to 5-7 millimeters with a filler. No. It was just for a different. Edgar, beautiful instrument. Will you do a giveaway? And then David Brandt, 6925. Smashing idea, friend. What about that, Edgar? That was a nice one. I'm getting a superb cheap violin and ordered upgrades as well. I figured that it's a great way to learn violin maintenance and upgrades. Yeah, I agree. I can understand that this is a certain kind of fun. Metatron, hi Edgar, thank you for your video. I may ask, are there violin scrolls that are bigger than the others? I purchased a violin which is Italian, not from Cremona, but from Brescia. And the scroll seems to be bigger than my French and German. Is this normal? The Brescian school has a little bit this scroll more bigger, especially the first turn, very big, and yeah, this is normal. Yes, that's normal. David Duarte, 27. I would be more interested in a direct comparison between Dynamo and Dominant Pro. There are so many strings that it's difficult to make the right video for all of you. But of course, if I discover the Dominant Pro, then I will make a video about it, okay? Edgar, what do you think is the best cello ever made? For me, it is the Sleeping Beauty. I think it is the best old cello in the world. Paul Victor, I do agree with your comment. You know, if I only make one model for the rest of my life, it's a little boring. So this Ruggeri we made recently was also interesting. Sasha 42196, hi, long time subscriber here, but it's becoming difficult to watch your videos. This one I had to stop after only a couple of minutes. Too much sound and visual effects. Would it be possible to tone down on the cut stuff? You already have our attention. Please don't treat your viewers like 3-year-old children that need entertainment in their education. content. And then here down, all the other students. Hi, I agree, it's too much. Damn. I also agree, I enjoy the content, but have to filter out the cut stuff. And another one, Patrick, it's like a 4-year-old kid playing with video editing toy. Okay. But you know, now, a little bit of truth is there. Me too. I said to Christian, calm down a little bit. It's getting a little bit too much, but it's fun. Okay, so Christian here is employed. I am the boss. I pay him that he is making jokes about me. Okay, so he's making here that I get like holy. I can understand, and probably you already recognize that we slow down a little bit the special effects. But sorry, we live only once, and we can also laugh. Talking about serious things, but we can also laugh, okay? So I hope you really enjoyed now this whole transmission here, and that you're all already subscribed. I should sit down, answer all the questions on the YouTube channel, but that's time consuming them, you know. So your comments are always great, because then we can get new ideas what we can make a video of. Okay, but if you have a burning questions, or you have many questions and you want to get a little bit more knowledge out of it, you can support me by subscribing to my Patreon channel, and there every month I make a Q&A which lasts about 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and I can answer every question very precisely, and I go through the workshop and I show you everything so I can explain you better. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Subscribe. Ciao.